and as always, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to jump right into it. I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite flowers that we have in store for the holiday season. All right, so I want to start off with cyclamen. They are a very popular holiday flower. You might be picking some up to just scatter throughout your home. You might find them in our planted arrangements, so let's talk about how to take care of them. So anytime you are bringing a flower into your home, do keep in mind that will most likely be temporary. So all these flowers that I'm going to be talking to you about today are just for you to enjoy throughout the season, and you can continue to grow them outdoors or dispose of them, whatever you choose. For your cyclamen, make sure that you're giving them bright light. The more light, the better they will look, the more abundant blooms you will see. So do be sure that you're providing it adequate light. That does not necessarily mean direct sunlight. You can just keep them in a windowsill, will be completely fine, or another bright location. You can remove the spent blooms, so as they sort of wither or brown, you can pull them. That will just promote more growth and more blooms, which is what you want. And be thoughtful with your watering. Cyclamen are very sensitive to rot. If you have them in an arrangement, do be mindful that you are making sure that soil is dry before watering all the way to the very bottom. If you're displaying them kind of individually, leaving them in the grower's pot is helpful. They'll be fine like that through the season, and it'll be much easier for watering them. All right, so let's move along to Amaryllis, a holiday classic. I brought two options with me. I brought one that is already beautifully in bloom and one that is well on its way. We've got both available, so you can pick up one for any occasion, whether you are looking for one that is already in bloom or hoping to time one with your holiday celebration. We have you covered. So amaryllis are a great decorative flower for the holiday. They look beautiful on their own or in planted arrangements. They're very abundant bloomers and will usually bloom for you for about 6 to 8 weeks. If your amaryllis bulb has not yet bloomed for you and you're anxiously awaiting, here's a couple tips. Keep them in bright light. I can't stress that enough. I say it repetitively. I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, but all plants, all flowers, everything, the more light that you're giving it, the more energy it has, and the sooner you'll see bulbs. So if you have yours too far from a light source, that could be a reason why you haven't seen any blooms yet. So maybe move it closer, and then once you've got your flower going, you can move it as needed throughout your space. Another thing you can always do is actually use a houseplant fertilizer that is high in phosphorus. That will help encourage some blooms. I would only maybe do that twice, because this is something you're only going to have for a couple weeks, so fertilizer isn't really necessary, but giving it a little boost of nutrients could help you move the process along. Just be sure you're following the instructions on your fertilizer packaging. So once it's budding, you may want to move it to a tabletop or a different location in your home that isn't seeing as much light. So cut the spent blooms. Once they're looking a little ratty, chop them off. That'll help promote some new growth. As far as watering, again, you want to be really thoughtful always with bulbs because they can be sensitive to rotting. So make sure the soil isn't staying wet for too long. I recommend this a lot, but leaving things in the grower's pot is just so much easier. They're already kind of settled in there, and you've got ample drainage on the bottom, so when you water, things are draining thoroughly. So with a lot of bulbs, they can tend to get very top heavy. This one is extraordinarily perky and looking great, so poor example for this point, but if yours are toppling over a little bit, you can always add something fun and festive like birch or other faux stems. There's a lot of great options you can use that will look natural and help kind of perk the blooms up. Once the season is over or your amaryllis bulb is done blooming, you can actually grow them just for the foliage throughout the spring and summer seasons and repackage your bulb and save it for the next holiday. And do be sure that you are starting yours right now if you are growing yours from scratch, so that they will bloom in time for the holiday. But if not, we have them all throughout the season, so you can always come in and pick one up from us. We do indeed have the beloved Christmas cactus. We just got in a brand new batch that have just started to push bloom, so they are fresh as can be and will be very abundant bloomers for you throughout the whole season, and they are a fan favorite, definitely a must-have. And of course, how could we forget poinsettias, the absolute epitome of a holiday classic flower. We have got them in red, and we have even these very cute little 2-inch sizes in both red and this little cream color. If you've been here before, you know that we have them in a variety of sizes. We have some that are a couple feet tall, all the way down to the little 2-inch, and everything in between that you could possibly want. So poinsettias will actually benefit from a little bit of humidity, so if you can put a pebble tray beneath them, they will really appreciate and respond well to that. Poinsettias are great in the fact that they will wilt when they're thirsty, so if your plant's looking a little lifeless, that's a good indicator that it needs a drink. You can also check the soil, only water them when they're dry. Do protect poinsettias from really drastic drops in temperatures that can cause their leaves to wilt. As I mentioned, so can being dry, and also so can root rot. So with a lot of plants, one symptom can be caused by a lot of different factors. So just be thoughtful with your process, as I always say to you, and mindful with your watering, bright light. They will keep them looking great throughout the whole season. I want to also throw in a little disclaimer that a lot of us have pets or little kids running around. While I'm not authorized to discuss what's toxic and what's not toxic for pets or young kids, I do want to urge all of you to check the ASPCA website before bringing any of these into your home to make sure that your human babies and your fur babies are safe and protected. And last but not least, this dainty little paperwhite. He just started blooming, so go easy on him. I talked to you guys about paperwhites a little bit further back, I think the beginning of November maybe. If you haven't started paperwhites, I would definitely say do so now, maybe even put them in the sun, and hopefully you will have them blooming in time for your holiday. If that isn't the case and you're a little bit behind, don't worry. We've got a great selection of pre-bloomed paperwhites that will be very abundant, very abundant in their blooms. They're a really great holiday flower as well, and these ones you can actually do in water, so do keep that in mind when you pick these up. They are in water, not soil. So I also have 3 beautiful embellished wreaths to share with you. They are all live, and as I previously mentioned, we've got a bunch more that will be available online and in store. So if one of these doesn't suit your tastes, we've got plenty more to choose from. This one is my personal favorite. I love the cascade. It pretty much speaks for itself, so I just will let you take it all in. And this is the last one I have to show you. It's got a little pop of red in there, some pine cones, absolutely beautiful, and so much fun to have a fresh wreath. If you would like to see more of what we have available for you guys this season, you can check us out online or in store. We've got a great selection of live planted arrangements that are available right now for delivery, curbside pickup, or in store. And starting December 3rd, we will have our embellished wreaths available, as well as our floral arrangements also for delivery or in-store pickup. So check us out on there. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.